Okay, bad land management, that's right. So you've got a big majority of the world just working away and seeking peace, and you got a little bit of people here and there testing their little war machines because they want another war, or they want to put fear and allow us to think that there's someone out there. Like while I was growing up in the 1980s, all I knew about was there was bombings in England, between England and the British. There was the end of Vietnam War. There was here in Australia, there was a massive amount of bombings of Jewish synagogues, and they weren't done by Muslims. They were done by white people. White people high regards into whatever bloody problems they've got. I'm over the problems. So in the 1980s, you had all over the world this high rise of extremists, white extremists again, because we don't learn from lessons and we don't talk to each other. And because we went the way of money, we didn't go the way of helping people. Like, oh my gosh, did you know socialism is a bad thing? Like, does anyone know what socialism is about? It's about looking after people and then building an economy. If you don't look after people, you don't have an economy to build. And even today, with all our computers and all our technology, when you look at it, there's no jobs. There's no jobs. We have not enough jobs for people to work. So, because all the jobs are getting taken away by technology, or they've been sent overseas. So it just doesn't make sense. Nothing makes sense anymore, and that's why we've really got, and that's what I think Bob Dylan also expresses in these albums, is nothing makes sense, but there's still hope, because over time and over the years, there's always been this concept of love, of universal love, of something more than just being born, going to school, working and dying. Just something a little bit more. No one really knows what it is, but it's all about people working together more and learning and enhancing each other's cultures, not using it for trade, not using it for money. And I know we've gotten ourselves in such a situation, you can't even live without that now, but we've also come to a point where that we've been pushing that way of life onto other countries, and then all of a sudden, out of the blue, 9/11 happened and these buildings came down. I watched it live. And I'm not going to get into my views on why it happened, because I don't want to focus on that. What I want to focus on is after it happened, because that's a pattern we really need to look at, and that's one I don't want my children to see anymore. Individually as a society, if something goes wrong, we have a group of police or a detective or a corpse, sort that out, and you get found guilty and you get put away. Whether that's right or wrong, it's often abused just like kindness. And then as a whole society, we get an event like 9/11 where we all witnessed it, we all saw it at one time, and before we were even seeking the answers to why a big attack would happen like that, or why someone would want to attack our freedom if we're so kind and so nice to each other, or who. We as a mob, as a society, allowed our leaders to make that judgment before looking into it, and we believed it without even looking into it. like Saddam Hussein, you've never even found chemical weapons, mass destruction. If you look at the map, or you can make your own opinion of who has chemicals of mass destruction. So, if you sum up those two albums on an individual and mob level, we still have lynch mobs around today. Like, even in the individual court system, mental health, like, in your own communities, if you're going to write, you'll have people gossip about you, and you've got to keep the perfect law, and you've got to keep the perfect home, you've got to do all this perfect stuff, so you've got to be this perfect person. And on a grand scale, we've gotten ourselves into this total division of hatred between another culture, all in one, when we had so many other problems before that, individually and as a whole, which needed sorting out. And then that just stopped. We forgot about all those problems. We forgot about the division of the poor and the whites and the blacks and everyone else in between. And we just looked and centered on those two attacks. And since those two attacks, okay, this is just how I can explain it. I used to wear a scarf every time I used to walk around. I just liked it. I just wore a scarf. I'm not Muslim in a way, or Islam. I really don't have any religion. And after the attacks and after the Cronulla riots, after the attacks, sorry, I might speak about the Cronulla riots another day. I was there. After the attacks, I went shopping in a major shopping centre, and this little girl cried because she was scared of me, and she said she didn't want to stand in the line with me. And that's what we're teaching our children. We're teaching our children to fear without knowing. And I think that's what those two albums are all about, is, in a way, celebrating that maybe possibly we can get rid of that, and with the help of each other, not waiting for one person, just everyone, just try and get rid of that concept of teaching our children fear without not knowing, just fear of a race, or fear of like, if you're poor, you don't like rich people. If you're rich, you judge poor people. Here in Australia, if you're a policeman, there's no community, people. And that's just, to me, that's what those two albums are. It's a celebration of balance and life, and a celebration of trying your hardest, of not becoming a mirror of what you see around, and keeping that inner child, because we all have an inner child. It's just that sometimes that inner child likes to stay in the rainbow because we don't treat it too well. And sometimes we forget that as an adult. And we've been brought up as a society to put that inner child away because it's not adult-like. And to me, that's what those two albums are all about. In a way, trying to learn from our past mistakes and come together without putting each other on a pedestal. That's how we can individually use our mistakes and not criticize, not manipulate, not mock, not bully, not pretend that we're perfect, and pretend if you're carrying a Gucci bag, that's the latest thing, that you're a really good person, because just because of what you wear doesn't mean you're a good person. Just because you can afford a Gucci bag doesn't mean it's a good person. As well as, if you're a homeless person, it doesn't also mean that homeless person has had a hard life, they might become a mirror and turn into a not good person. So I think instead of breaking the mirror, because that gives you bad luck, we need to change it individually and not let people think that we're stupid, and let our leaders inform us of events. Like, seriously, as a society, going into another country and blaming another country for an attack without even looking onto it, like, what's next? So, don't even have a listen to those two albums. Probably after I've had a thought today, because I've had to get this off my head. Probably after I've had a major thought today, I'll probably tidy up everything in a big conclusion, I think. But in a way, that's what those two albums mean to me. It's defeating fear with love and understanding, and not abusing each other. And there's also a personal side to it, but hey, I've got to do another video because I forgot about Lucifer and the devil. I'll do that now. Bye, YouTube.